It's a beautiful day here in Palm Beach, and I'm smiling because I'm headed up to LaGuardia. It's always great when I have a ticket to LaGuardia. I'm so excited and I'm ready to head right to TSA so I can see a very special surprise for today's flight. Okay, I just cleared TSA. That is my aircraft over there, a special livery Delta 737-800 painted in Skyteam colors. And I showed this exact plane in my last video as it took off from LaGuardia, headed right here to PBI. I should have taken that flight. The flight I took from LaGuardia to Palm Beach was delayed over 3 hours. Check out that video when you get a chance. It goes over every reason why the flight was delayed, and there were a lot of reasons. But today is a normal operations day for LaGuardia, and we'll be on time to New York. I was actually on this aircraft in 2013, and I get to fly it again today. Delta isn't one of the airlines that does many special paint schemes, and this one only indicates that it's part of the Skyteam airline alliance. Many of the Skyteam carriers paint their planes like this, giving them a standardized look. All right, it is great when Delta has an aircraft that is a special paint scheme that you get to fly on. I remember this aircraft. It was 2013. I was flying from Las Vegas to JFK, had a seat on this aircraft, and today I'm back on it again. It's been a while. When you see a Skyteam painted aircraft, you really have to look close to see the name of the airline. Where it says Delta, you could see another airline name like Tarom or Aeromexico. They all look very similar. Today, I'm seated on the right side of the plane because I'm hoping to land on runway 22 at LaGuardia with a right traffic pattern. And today is just one of those iffy days when it comes to the wind at LaGuardia. Right now, it's coming out of due south. I really don't know if it's going to switch or not, if we're going to do left traffic or right traffic to runway 22. Maybe we'll even land on runway 31. Let's see. Today's flight will be 1708, and by popular demand, I'll be providing you with air traffic control conversations in the departure and arrival phases of flight. Okay, let's board, 1708. I can feel the Florida heat in the jet bridge as I get ready to board the most unique Delta jet I've ever flown. I'm looking for that small window at the bottom of the jet bridge to see the plane up close. Here it is. It looks brand new, but it's actually almost 25 years old. Now for the disappointing part. There's nothing on the inside to indicate that you're on a special jet, so if you don't see the paint job from outside, you'll never know. Okay, let's head on over to the Comfort Plus cabin. Here's my view. I'm not going to show you my seat. There are tons of other channels out there that will focus on that. Despite being in Comfort Plus, I'm not paying for the extra legroom. I'm paying for a well-aligned window so I can get a view of the world out there. I was able to get into Comfort Plus with a complimentary upgrade with my status, but I'm most excited about sitting in front of the wing instead of behind it this time. We're all set for an on-time departure, so it's time to push back onto the airline terminal ramp. The tug pushed us back to a position where we're now pointed out toward the active taxiway system, and we can now contact Palm Beach Ground Control for taxi instructions to the active departure runway, runway 10 left.
Ground Delta 1708, just please stop Charlie 1, taxi please to Yankee.
Delta 1708, Palm Beach Ground, runway 10 left, taxi via Charlie, hold short Charlie 6.
Charlie short, Charlie 6, Delta 1708.
We're told to take taxiway Charlie, but while on taxiway Charlie, we need to hold short of taxiway Charlie 6, which means that we can move out onto the active taxiway system, but once we get to taxiway Charlie 6, we need to come to a stop. Charlie 6 is actually right around the corner from where we enter taxiway Charlie, so we'll stop in about a minute. Typically, flights are told to hold short of the crossing runway along taxiway Charlie, but today, we're told to stop one taxiway before that. By the way, even though this flight is painted in Skyteam colors, we still use the Delta call sign. If the controller needs to point our plane to another pilot on the ground, he may refer to us as the Skyteam plane so another pilot can easily visually identify us, but the standard Delta call sign is used. A good example of identifying planes by what they look like on the ground is about to be heard in this next transmission to a small plane on this frequency.
Ground 585 Romeo Mike.
Calling ground again.
585 Romeo Mike. Yeah, the marshalers want me to turn around here if I can and go back up on line 1, which is going to be in front of Trump's plane here.
All right, 180 is approved on Foxtrot.
Okay, I'll make a left turn.
Did you catch that? Instead of referring to a Boeing 757, the pilot referred to an aircraft that says Trump on it. We've now come to a stop before taxiway Charlie 6, and the coast is clear, so the controller tells us that we can move and cross runway 14 ahead.
Delta 1708, continue the taxi, cross runway 14.
Continue taxi, cross 14, Delta 1708.
We're now moving again. We won't be able to see taxiway Charlie 6, the taxiway we were asked to hold short of, because it's on the left side of this plane. We will pass by taxiway Bravo, which parallels runway 14, and then cross the runway itself as instructed to do so by the ground controller. This is the most critical moment of our taxi because we're using a taxiway that's crossing an active runway, and we can only cross it when we're told to do so. Once we get across the runway, it's a straight run all the way to the beginning of our departure runway, which we'll have to enter by making a left turn. Of course, that entry to the runway is only possible after the command of someone in the control tower. We're now about to cross the runway hold bars on the ground and cross runway 14. We're safely across runway 14 on the other side of the runway, but we'll have to cross it again when we're on the takeoff roll. For now, we're going to monitor the control tower frequency and await a command to enter the takeoff runway. Let's listen in.
Flight 534, 10 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 10 left, flight 534.
And Flight 534, traffic just ahead of your right, about a half mile to the caravan from the South Carolina runway.
Flight 534. And Palm Beach Tower, Center 19, visual 10 left.
The 19, Palm Beach Tower, 10 left, continue, traffic will be in position.
10 left, continue, Center 19.
We're gaining runway situational awareness as we listen to the tower controller talk to others who are taking off and landing on this frequency. Based upon what we heard, there are currently 2 planes on approach to runway 10 left and 1 plane on approach to runway 10 right, the parallel runway. The tower will need to get us out between arriving flights. Despite there being 3 runways, ours is the popular one because it's a long runway, and now an airplane that has just taken off is being told to contact the departure controller.
Charlie 313, contact departure connect.
Departure, Charlie 313, get up.
We're next for the runway as a plane touches down, and the controller instructs us to line up and wait on the runway, indicating that traffic is on a 5-mile final. That's plenty of room for us to get out.
Delta 708, Palm Beach Tower, 10 left, line up and wait, traffic 5 miles final.
10 left, line up and wait, Delta 708.
We're facing in the opposite direction for takeoff, and the controller told us to turn left. While we're doing this, another airplane is landing on the runway, and once that plane is clear of the runway, we can take off. Of course, with clearance from the controller. As a passenger seated on the right side of the plane, I'm unable to see the runway, but I can see the final approach course, so my eyes are always on the lookout to see how far out the next plane is. A few flights ago, a plane went around because it was too close to us while in this position. For now, another plane will contact the tower, but before getting back to him, the controller will tell the plane that landed to clear the runway.
Palm Beach Tower, Gulfstream 900, Whiskey Romeo with you, Alice, 10 left.
Flight 534, right turn, hotel, ground plan, good day. 900, Whiskey Romeo, Palm Beach, 10 left, continue, traffic in position.
Continue, Gulfstream 900, Whiskey Romeo.
Now that the runway is clear, we can get takeoff clearance.
Delta 708, 10 left, clear for takeoff.
10 left here for takeoff, Delta 1708.
Delta 19, 10 left, clear to land, line 090, 11, Delta 1708, contact departure, good day.
Departure right, Delta 1708.
As we cross over I-95, the tower hands us off to the departure controller in a radar room.
QSM departure Delta 1708, 1600 leads to.
Delta 1708, Palm Beach departure, radar contact.
We checked in at 1,600 feet, indicating we're on what's called the Slids 2. This is an RNAV departure procedure that the pilot is following out of the airport. It's a standard departure and calls for the plane to fly a heading of 99 degrees, which is basically straight out over the ocean, with an eventual turn to the left, which is the general direction we want to turn to get to New York. The controller just told the pilot radar contact, indicating to the pilot that he can see him on the radar since the controller is in a radar room and there are no windows to see the plane like the previous controller had in the tower. There are no further instructions from the controller since the pilot is simply following the departure procedure. As a matter of fact, this frequency this afternoon is rather quiet and there are no traffic conflicts. We just fly the procedure and climb higher and higher. There's only one other transmission on this frequency while we're on it, and it's to tell another plane to leave the frequency.
JetBlue 53, contact approach 125.0, good day.
2050, enjoy your weekend.
We're now continuing along the procedure, turning to the northeast. Further out, we're asked to contact the High Altitude Air Route Traffic Control Center.
Delta 1708, contact Miami Center on 132.15, 3215, Delta 1708, good day.
3215, bye-bye, Delta 1708.
Look at the beautiful color of the water down there. We're just north of some of the Bahamian Islands, and the shallow water provides some great views. It's simply gorgeous and gives us a tropical vibe up here. We're heading north, joining other flights that were headed from the south to the north. It's a busy flight corridor, but not only are there many flights up here, but down below we can see a cruise ship. That's the Carnival Sunshine down there, and it's returning from a Bahamian cruise and heading back to its home port of Charleston, South Carolina. I just love having a window seat. Even though we're over the water, there's a lot to spot today, like this Bombardier Challenger 300 up at 40,000 feet. It's headed to the south. For us, we're about to make landfall and complete the rest of the flight over the continental USA. That's Cape Fear down there. Cape Fear is land that extends out into the ocean from Bald Head Island in North Carolina. It's a popular place with many homes lined along the beach. Further inland, at the bottom of the screen, we can see the Cape Fear Regional Jetport. Sometimes airports call themselves jetports. Following that, the land views were blocked by some clouds, but boy were they magnificent formations. Of course we have to go around the weather, and so does this Frontier A320neo, which is descending to the Myrtle Beach Airport from Philadelphia. Throughout the flight, we made some large turns going around weather and being sequenced properly into the arrival procedure to LaGuardia. By the way, did you forget that we're on a Skyteam plane? I did, but it makes no difference as we take in the views, like this view of the Pawtuxet River Naval Air Station. And shortly after that, I was afforded some great views of the Dover Air Force Base. Moving along further, it's time for us to check in with New York Approach Control, a radar facility on Long Island that handles all traffic surrounding the New York City metropolitan area.
That's GFM Delta 1708 out of 11 on the Proud with Oscar.
Delta 1708, New York Approach, go to 277, maintain 300 knots or greater.
77, 300 or better, Delta 1708.
We're told to maintain 300 knots or greater for sequencing to LaGuardia, and we've already started our descent. The pilot indicated that we're on the Proud arrival. I recently learned that there's no more Corey arrival procedure to LaGuardia, a procedure that I've shown in countless videos on this channel. Arrivals from the south now fly the Proud 2 RNAV arrival. In a nutshell, it's basically the same as the old Corey arrival, but it uses an RNAV procedure. It allows us to descend over New Jersey and head right towards New York City, so I'm proud to be flying a new procedure today. But I'm saddened to hear this announcement by the pilot.
In about 10-15 minutes, if you're sitting on the left side of your plane, you get a great shot of New York City, East River, Hudson River, all that good stuff. If you're sitting on the right side, you get nothing.
We're going to make left traffic to runway 22, which means the city and airport view will be on the left side of the plane. I was hoping for right traffic to runway 22, which calls for us to fly up the Hudson River, but that won't happen. Left or right traffic is a factor of what the departure runway is at LaGuardia. If runway 13 is the departure runway, we'd fly up the Hudson and turn right to land on runway 22. If runway 31 is the departure runway, which it is today, we're going to fly east of LaGuardia over Long Island and make a left turn over the Long Island Sound to the runway. The problem is that at the time of landing, the predicted wind was at a right angle to both runway 1331, and I just hoped it would favor runway 13 for departures. Oh well. Our next clearance is to 7,000 feet.
Delta 1708, descend maintain 7,000.
7,000, Delta 1708.
After that, we're told to descend to 4,000 feet and proceed direct to LaGuardia. That means we'll tune into a navigational aid directly at the airport and fly right to it. We'll still have to circle the airport to land, but this puts us in a good corridor for now.
Delta 1708, descend maintain 4,000, proceed direct LaGuardia.
4,000, direct LaGuardia, Delta 1708.
As we approach Sandy Hook Bay, we proceed to the LaGuardia VOR. We can practically fly straight in to land on runway 4. That would save a lot of time, but we have to land on the same runway in the opposite direction. We're a little high, so the controller tells us to expedite our descent to 4,000 feet.
Delta 1708, expedite your descent down to 4,000.
Expedite descent, Delta 1708.
There goes another cruise ship, this time leaving New York Harbor. So the plan is as follows. Once we get closer to LaGuardia while over Brooklyn and just west of JFK Airport, we'll turn slightly to the right and switch controllers to the final vector controller, who will swing us around via left-hand turns to join the final approach course to runway 22. For that controller's airspace, I'll let you listen into all the transmissions. How far out we go depends on how much traffic there is ahead of us, but you'll get an idea by listening to other pilots on the frequency. Welcome to New York City. Unfortunately, Manhattan is about to appear on the left side of the plane, but we've got a nice view of Brooklyn with Queens in the distance. We've descended to 4,000 feet, and we'll get clearances to lower altitudes with the next controller. What we can expect next is a right turn to 70 degrees, keeping us between LaGuardia and JFK. Then, on the next frequency, we'll get clearance down to 3,000 feet and a speed reduction to 210 knots. To start the downwind leg, we'll turn left to 40 degrees, which is exactly the opposite direction of landing. That will be followed by a speed reduction to 180 knots, then a descent to 2,000 feet. Our left base will consist of turns to 310 and 250 degrees to follow a regional jet to runway 22. As I zoom into JFK, the controller is going to have us start that right-hand turn to 70 degrees and contact the final approach controller.
Delta 1708, turn right heading 070, contact final 134.9er.
070, 3490, bye-bye, Delta 1708.
See you.
Okay, we're going to check in with the new approach controller as we turn right to 70 degrees. Remember, our call sign is Delta 1708. And also, remember, we're a Skyteam plane? Not really relevant. Here comes every transmission on the frequency in real time.
Approach, GSM Delta 1708, 4,000.
Delta 1708, altimeter 2978.
Thank you.
'11. 1708, descend to maintain 3,000.
3,000, Delta 1708.
Yard 5853, descend to 3,000. VFR traffic 2 across 3, eastbound at 2500.
Traffic 3,000, we're looking for gap 5853.
Up 1118, heading 250, advise the field.
250 on the heading, field sight, 1118.
Up 1118, clear approach, runway 22.
Lock.
Up 1118, clear approach, runway 22.
Clear the visual 22, Delta 1118. Traffic sight, we're gap 5853.
Gap 5853, roger. 1118, towers 187.
187 for 1118, see you.
Number 4947, descend to maintain 3,000.
3,000, there 4947.
1708, speed 210.
210 speed, Delta 1708.
CR 5853, advise the field in sight.
Field in sight, we're gap 5853.
CR 5853, clear visual approach, runway 22.
Clear visual at 22, we're gap 5853.
1708, heading 040.
040, Delta 1708.
Got a 3890, descend to maintain 3,000.
3,000, Scott 3090.
For CR 5853, towers 187.
Tower, steel, we're gap 5853.
4947, hang 310.
310, Air 49, 47.
Tower 3890, when at 3000, reduce speed to 210.
At 3,000, flow 210, go 3890.
Endeavor 4947, descend and maintain 2000.
2000, Air 4947.
Delta 1708, speed 180, then descend and maintain 2000.
180, then 2000, Delta 17, Joey.
Endeavor 4947, hang 250, advise the field.
250, Air 4947. Field is safe. Air 4947, field is safe.
Endeavor 4947, cleavage approach 22.
Clear visual approach 22, Air 4947.
Tower 3890, heading 040, speed 180.
Heading 040, slow 180, goes to 3890.
Endeavor 4947, contact tower 187.
187, 4947, so long.
Delta 1708, heading 310.
Heading 310, Delta 1708.
Tower 3890, 180 speed, then descend to 2000.
180 first, then down 2000, Scott 3890.
Delta 1708, heading 250, you're following RJ 10 o'clock and 3 2000.
50 looking, Delta 1708. And approach up to 548, 4000, the heading is 070.
Delta 548, altimeter is 2978.
1708, traffic in sight.
Delta 1708, follow the traffic, cleavage approach from 22.
The visual to 2, Delta 1708.
Delta 548, descend and maintain 3000.
3000, Delta 548.
Delta 1708, towers 187.
187, bye-bye, Delta 1708.
Now that we're clear for the approach, it's now time to check in with LaGuardia Tower for landing clearance.
Kiffin, Delta 1708, 22.
Delta 1708, LaGuardia Tower, 822. 31012, to the line, traffic hold 10 parts, 31.
Check 2 land 22, Delta 1708.
Airport 316, contact flight. See ya.
Departure 4316, good day.
Delta 1676, runway 31, wind 31012, clear for takeoff, traffic on a 2-mile final, runway 22.
Clear for takeoff 31, Southwest 1676.
Clear wind 3388, LaGuardia Tower, line 31, line up wait, traffic, land, traffic on a 2-mile final, runway 22.
31, line up on wait, Province 3388.
Brickyard 5853, left on Charlie, left on Bravo, contact ground point 7, traffic a mile and a half out.
Left Charlie, left Bravo, ground point 7, because 5053.
Southwest 1676, contact departure.
To departure 1676.
Runway 388, runway 31, 31012, clear for takeoff, 72 miles out, 22.
Alright, 31, clear for takeoff, scoring 3288. Hi, Tower, it's got 3890 over Greco.
Sky with 3890 at LaGuardia Tower, runway 22, with 31012, clear to land, successful departure 31.
Alright, runway 22, clear to land, it's got 3890.
Endeavor 4947, left on Charlie Bravo, contact ground point 72.
Charlie Bravo, 4947.
Sure, wing 388, contact departure.
Good day, squaring 3288. Wind check.
Wind 30012.
Thank you. Tower up 548, visual 22.
Delta 1708, turn left when able, contact ground point 7, traffic 12.
7
We'll turn left as soon as we can so that the next plane can land on runway 22. And as I'm looking out the window, I spotted some very rare aircraft for LaGuardia Airport. What a great landing. I just wish my seat was on the other side of the plane, but as you heard, the tower issued takeoff clearance to planes off of runway 31, which sends them to western airspace, so that's why we went to the east. Let's reach out to ground control.
Houston, ground Delta 1708, you are on Bravo going to lane 12, checking.
So 1708, ground taxi Bravo, show the kilo, let me know if you're cleared in.
Good news that time is firm, good news. Move here, about. Move your seat, and go to phone.
Ground American 2033 is short Bravo, spot 1 taxi with Oscar.
Circa 4263, you are on ground. American 2033, spot 1?
Yeah, spot 1, American 2033, taxi with Oscar. 1708, what would you answer?
Delta 1708, ground taxi, you had lane 12 you cleared into?
No, let's get the other call, I'm checking that.
Delta 1712, Bravo Echo Alpha.
Bravo Golf, sure.
We're cleared into the ramp, so now our Delta Airlines 737-800, painted in Skyteam colors, can taxi uninterrupted all the way to the gate. All right, about to get off the airplane. What a great approach to runway 22 as always. It's time for one final look at the Delta Skyteam 737-800 that I just flew. All right, this aircraft is heading down to Tampa, Florida after this flight, as you can see by the sign over there. Do those passengers know that they're going to be boarding a Skyteam Boeing 737-800? I don't know. I know I sure knew that. All right, I'm going to end the video here. Remember that if you're not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and I'll be back with many more videos just like this. Thanks, everybody.